One of the books of the Bible we're looking at for this week is Zephaniah. And when we're looking at Zephaniah, there are several prophets who wrote about the same time as Zephaniah, contemporaries of Zephaniah, who were writing during the period of time between the fall of the kingdom of Israel and the fall of the kingdom of Judah. And a lot of these prophets were writing and warning the people that what they're doing is not right. Now, I want to look at this in just a little different way, not to say that what it's saying is not accurate and correct, but it is. But I think we sometimes miss the point. We miss the point. While Zephaniah does indeed talk about Judgment Day, and Judgment Day is coming, and we all are going to be held accountable in eternity for our failures and our successes and our motives and that which we did. I almost am drawn to especially when I'm reading Zephaniah and I'm reading some of the same stuff that other books of the Bible have written during the same period of time between the fall of the kingdom of Israel and the coming fall of the kingdom of Judah. So we're in that period of time right there in between. And when we're looking at the things that are written, several people are all writing saying the same thing. And while we do need to be aware and know that a judgment day is coming, and that is the truth, I don't think that's the point. In fact, one of the fallacies about modern day religion is that so many of our contemporary religions are focused on teaching obedience and fear of the judgment. You don't want to go to hell, then you better X, Y, and Z sort of thing. And while there may be truth to that, that's not the point. The point of living our life on earth is not about the judgment. While, yes, the judgment is coming, and yes, that is presented to us as a real thing, that's not the point. And that kind of tends to be the point of religion. Religion is teaching obedience. You better do the right thing or God's going to get you. That's not the point. The point is we're supposed to do the right thing. Regardless of judgment, regardless of heaven or hell, we are called to do the right thing. You're supposed to do the right thing, period. You're supposed to love your neighbors as yourself. You're supposed to love all people. We are supposed to be concerned about the immigrants that are here who are escaping a terrible, terrible life, and they're here for a better life. When we have more than we need, then we need to build more seats at the table, not build a wall to keep people out. We are a people that have more than we need. I'm one person, and yes, I'm living in a smaller house than most of the other houses I've lived during my adult life, but I've got 3 bathrooms and I've got 1 bohiny. I don't need 3 bathrooms. I really don't. Now, this isn't about, okay, you got 3 bathrooms, so sell your house and find a house with only 1 bathroom and give that money to the poor. That's not what I'm saying, although that would not necessarily be a bad thing. What I am saying is, if we truly claim to be followers of the Christ, who was Jesus, the Christ in the word Christian, if we are truly saying we're following the life and lessons of Jesus, then we need to be following the life and lessons of Jesus. Period. That's all there is to it. So when we're reading in the book of Zephaniah, and I keep looking over here because so many of these minor prophets, it's hard to keep them straight, especially when several of them have the same exact prophecy or almost the exact message. Like with Zephaniah, what Zephaniah is coming to the people and saying is not unique. Others are saying the same thing. While it may be true that Zephaniah is laying a little heavy on the judgment day and trying to scare the people into doing what it is they're supposed to do. We don't build the church because we're building and scaring people into the church because they don't want to go to hell. We should be bringing people in the church because we're showing them the love of Christ. That's what we're doing. We're showing the love of Christ. And that's why we should be bringing people into the church. And when we bring people into the church, they're going to go out and they're being the church to people as well and sharing the love of Christ. The minor prophets that are prophesying against the kingdom of Judah, saying y'all are going to fall because you're doing the wrong thing. They were repeatedly doing a lot of the things that our nation is doing right now. Uh, uh, People in power are getting richer, and the rich people are ensuring that their people are in power, and then the richer get richer and the poor get poorer, and eventually they stomp them out. I think that was a little Fraggle Rock song where they talk about the big get bigger and the little get littler until you just squash them out and then they are no more. I don't have a lot of new things to say about Zephaniah, but I almost want to say deja vu, don't miss the point. Because yet again, we have another Old Testament work that is pointing out the hypocrisy of the people that are calling themselves Christians today, and at the time I'm recording this in 2025. It can't get any clearer than this. It really can't. And yet people are sticking their head in the sand or up their own heinies. I don't know how you want to say that. And they just refuse to do that. So I'm a little fired up, but I'm also a little bit sick. And I'm late getting this content out. And I'm not feeling very my best. But this is an important message. You can read Zephaniah and you can focus on the judgment, and you can go out and preach fire and brimstone and try and scare people away from hell and get them into your church, get them into tithing 10 or 11%. You can do that. But if you're doing that, you're missing the point. The point is, yeah, judgment day is coming and you're going to hell. But why? Because you're not being Jesus, you're not being Christ-like, you're not being the little Christ in the word Christian to these people. You're supporting politicians that are rounding up people and sending them to other countries without proper due process. Not cool. Not cool. It's not good. It's not good. And if you're one of the people that are supporting these things, you better get on your knees and pray, because you are not doing what you're supposed to do. If you're all about justice in making sure that everybody gets what they deserve in the bad way, they broke the law. They're here and they're on a student visa, but they graduated 2 weeks ago. Time for them to go. Let's hold them to that law, to that law, to that law. Yeah. What would Jesus do? WWJD. What would Jesus do? And the reality in most churches and most political organizations, they don't care what Jesus would do because they would not do what Jesus would do. In fact, Jesus would not be welcome in their church and in their fellowship. So that's what I have to say. It's not sweet, but it is short. And maybe it is short and sweet. This is the point, people. This is the point. Stop saying you're a Christian if you don't care about other people. If you think it's okay that we've loaded up planes and sent people to prisons without giving them due process, and some people that have been loaded up when they have been granted protections by the court system, and the president says, I don't care, not cool, and it's not okay, and it must end. That's it. This has to end. Thank you for watching. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe, because you don't know what's coming next. Well, I do know what's coming next. Jeremiah. The next podcast will be on Jeremiah, and if I'm feeling well, that should come out in a couple of days after this one. We'll see how that goes. Thank you for watching.